Chapter 7, Lesson 3, Simplifying Radical Expressions, Lesson 1. First of all, in this lesson, we're only going to be using what we call the product rule for radicals, and we'll use this product rule to simplify radical expressions. So the product rule itself looks like this. It says that if you take the nth root of a number a times the nth root of a number b, so in other words, the root that you're after is identical, and you have different numbers underneath your radical sign, that when you multiply these two, it is like multiplying and finding the nth root of a times b. So to show you what I mean by that, I have some examples for you. Here's example 1. The square root of 4 times the square root of 36. We know that the square root of 4, that equals 2, and the square root of 36, that equals 6. And the square root of 36, square root of 2, I'm sorry, 2 times 6 gives us 12. Now, following the product rule up above, what that's saying is you could take the numbers inside the radical sign and multiply them together and then do the square root, and you should get the same answer. So let's see how that works. If I take 36 times 4, so if I take out my calculator quick and I do a 36 times 4, I get 144. So I'm going to say then, all right, the square root of 4 times the square root of 36 is the same as the square root of 144. And I happen to know that the square root of 144 is also 12. So this is just something that is an example of how the product rule works. Both of these, I do know the square root of 4, and we do know the square root of 36, and they are 2 and 6. That gives us 12 as an answer. But if I multiply the two numbers underneath the radical sign together, I get 144, and I also get the same answer. And that's what the product rule says. You can take the numbers underneath the radical sign, multiply them together, and then do the square root. So let's take a look at a few more types of expressions I may ask you to simplify. So here's one where it says the square root of 21 times the square root of y. That just plain and simply simplifies to this, the square root of 21 y. And my apologies for the sloppiness there. I'm going to erase that and change that so it looks a little neater for you. So it's the square root of 21 times y. And that's all you do there to simplify that. We don't know what y is, so we don't know what to multiply 21 by. But if we did, we would multiply it together and then do the square root like I did up here with 144 and 12. All right, now here's a cubed root. The cubed root of 2 times the cubed root of 32. Cubed root of 2 times cubed root of 32. I will multiply the two numbers inside the radical sign. 2 times 32 is 64, so I actually want the cubed root of 64. And if you don't know that off the top of your head, then you're going to be looking for this function on the calculator again, like you'd have before. So it looks something like that, or it's going to look something like this. May not have a letter underneath, but that's the function that you're going to look for. You have used that before. I do happen to know off the top of my head that the cubed root of 64 is 4. And you can calculate that on your calculator and you'll see that. Okay, so if we are able to do it, we can do it and simplify it to a nice rational number. All right, another expression here. The fourth root of 6 times the fourth root of 3x squared. If these numbers are different, if I had a fourth root here times a third root, I'd have to leave it as it is. But as long as I am after the same root, then I can do this. I can say that I am actually trying to find the fourth root of 18x squared, and I'll leave it just like that because there is no fourth root on x squared, there isn't a fourth root on 18, so I just have to leave it like it is. And I will just multiply the two together underneath the radical sign, keep them under the fourth root sign, and then I stop there. One last example for you. I have two fractions. Both are after square roots. So I am also again after a square root in my answer, and I will multiply this, and I will do numerator times numerator. So I have 3y on the top. On the bottom, my denominator, x times 2, 2x. And again, I will stop here because I have nothing to multiply it by. I don't know what to multiply it by, so I just stop at this point. All right, so what I want you to do for the first lesson is from page 435, do numbers 1 through 12. Do not turn this in until you've completed lesson 2. In lesson 2, I'll be talking to you about what we call the quotient rule. And I want both the product rule and quotient rule on the same assignment when you turn it in. So keep this one, page 435, numbers 1 through 12. Let me know what I can help you with.